1942. The Axis controls half the world. Europe lies in chains. Roosevelt, Stalin, and Churchill are in direct standoff with Hitler and Mussolini now. Stalin has been asking Americans to open a second front in Europe.
Finally, Roosevelt relented, and they picked North Africa for their debut.
It will be called Operation Torch, a test of courage, of leadership, of what happens when idealism meets reality.
But this isn't just a battle of armies. It's a battle of men. Eisenhower, Patton, Montgomery, Rommel, 4 wills, 4 egos, 1 desert.
Eisenhower, the diplomat in uniform, holding together an alliance built on pride and politics. Patton, the warrior, born for chaos, certain that audacity still wins wars. Montgomery, the perfectionist, methodical, calculating, convinced he alone holds the key to victory. And Rommel, the desert fox, already waiting, a phantom in the dunes, fighting with instinct and audacity, the legend who turned sand into strategy. And North Africa will be their arena.
Patton was brilliant but volatile, prone to public scandals, and never shy about expressing sharp, often controversial views of his peers. In private, Patton grumbled that Eisenhower wasn't aggressive enough, and that politics often clouded his judgment. Montgomery, in Patton's eyes, was a prima donna, always angling for credit he didn't fully earn. Yet when it came to Rommel, Patton's respect was unequivocal. The Desert Fox was the only German officer I ever respected. A truly worthy adversary.
Convoys stretch across the Atlantic, hundreds of ships carrying the hopes of a new army.
And behind every wave, doubt. Will these green soldiers hold when the bullets start to fly?
Eisenhower studies maps in silence, feeling the weight of every decision. Patton drills his men into steel, preaching fire and faith. Montgomery tightens his plans, convinced victory belongs to discipline.
And Rommel, half a continent away, moves like smoke across the sand, outnumbered but never outthought. He doesn't know when they'll strike. He only knows they're coming.
November 8, 1942. Before dawn, 3 Allied task forces converge on French North Africa, Casablanca, Oran, Algiers. Eisenhower commands from a ship in the Atlantic, listening to static and chaos.
He's fighting the French, technically allies, practically shooting at him. The first American bullets of the war hit Frenchmen.
At Oran, Darby's Rangers storm gun positions with grenades. The destroyer USS Dallas drives upriver under artillery fire, landing troops behind enemy lines. No manual says it should work. Somehow it does.
That's one way to make an entrance. Drive a warship up a creek and pray physics is on your side.
By nightfall, confusion reigns. Radios jam. Units land on the wrong beaches. Eisenhower negotiates with Admiral Darlan, the Vichy commander, to stop the bloodshed.
A deal with a collaborator. Half the press calls it genius, the other half calls it treason.
Torch succeeds, but politics leaves scars. The Allies hold the ports, but the desert ahead belongs to Rommel.
The real war is about to begin.
While tanks roll through sand, another war unfolds in silence. Cryptanalysts at Bletchley Park breaking the German enigma.
Some math wizard in a wool sweater reads Rommel's mail while men in the desert roast at 110 degrees.
The intercepts, codenamed Ultra, reveal Axis convoys rushing toward Tunisia. Eisenhower's staff doubts the data, learning the oldest truth of war. Information means nothing if you don't believe it.
One officer put it best. We knew what they'd do. We just didn't believe they'd do it that well.
After Kasserine Pass, that skepticism will die. Intelligence will become a weapon as sharp as any gun. February 1943. The Americans push into Tunisia, chasing what they think is a beaten enemy. But Rommel, ever the predator, turns and strikes.
It's the ambush from hell. Fog, bad maps, green troops. By nightfall, no one knows where the front even is.
At dawn, Stuka dive bombers scream down like iron vultures. Columns scatter, radios fail. The desert explodes in fire and confusion.
You can't outshoot what you can't see. Those Stukas carve through the sky like scalpels.
Colonel Stark's HQ is obliterated. Lieutenant John Waters leads a desperate counterattack to buy time. Captured, but his stand saves hundreds.
Patton's son-in-law, Lieutenant John Waters. Only war could cook up such irony. 2 years later, Patton supposedly botched a daring rescue attempt. But that tale waits for another day.
By week's end, 6,000 casualties. The young army learns humility in fire, sand, and fear.
And Eisenhower learns the hardest lesson of command. It's not the enemy that breaks you first. It's failure.
Kasserine exposes a fatal flaw: air and ground fight, 2 different wars. Rommel rules the sky.
Until Eisenhower changes the script. He brings in Air Marshal Tedder and General Spaatz, merging wings and rifles into one plan. Same desert, new soundtrack. Engines instead of screams. Now it's our bombs turning their columns into scrap.
Soon, P-38 Lightnings sweep the valleys. B-25s strike convoys. Spitfires duel Messerschmitts above the dunes.
And Rommel, once untouchable, feels the sky closing in.
Every train destroyed, every convoy shattered, proof that the Allies are learning faster than the enemy can adapt. Eisenhower needs a commander who can turn defeat into discipline. He calls George S. Patton.
Enter the legend. Polished boots, pearl-handled pistols, a mouth that could peel paint off a tank. He terrifies them into competence, and somehow it works.
Patton drills his men like machines. No excuses, no hesitation. His mantra: attack, attack, attack. By March, the Second Corps is reborn. The soldiers who fled Kasserine now wait for Rommel's next move with confidence.
Rommel senses it. His enemy has grown teeth.
March 23, 1943. El Getter. Rommel sends 50 tanks against Patton's line.
The same rookies he crushed a month ago, only now they're dug in and they're angry.
Artillery thunders across the wadi. Sergeant Nicholas Menu fires until his gun falls silent. A hero stand that earns the Medal of Honor. German armor burns under a desert sun.
Even Rommel admits it. The Americans are learning. That's code for we're in trouble.
By May, the skies belong to the Allies. Air power severs every road, every lifeline. Tunis falls. 250,000 Axis troops surrender.
The war that began in confusion ends in competence. Not bad for the amateurs.
North Africa is free, but victory's price is carved into the sand. 70,000 Allied casualties.
And a few egos dented beyond repair. Patton and Montgomery are already measuring each other for the next round.
Eisenhower, steady and patient, learns the most difficult command of all: how to lead allies, not just armies. He's forged a team that will carry the war to Europe.
From rookies to professionals in 6 months. Not bad for an army that started by shooting the wrong Frenchman.
The dawn has broken. The long day of battle lies ahead.
Next, the day of battle, Italy. Mud, mountains, politics, and betrayal. The road to Rome begins in blood.